Okay, let's dive in. Picture this for a second. You've got this incredibly intense pressure cooker situation happening right now. It's the FIDE World Cup 2025, and it's not in some, sterile conference hall. It's playing out against this amazing backdrop, sun-kissed beaches, swaying palms in Goa. And this isn't just any tournament, it's a brutal knockout format. 206 of the absolute sharpest chess minds on Earth are there. It's running right now, actually, October 31st through November 27th.
It's quite the setting, isn't it? And a pretty spectacular statement, too. What really makes this hosting stand out is the history, or maybe the lack of it.
Mm.
India's putting on a world-class chess event of this scale after, what, a 23-year gap? So for a country that's just exploding with chess talent right now, this feels, well, it feels less like just hosting and more like a really necessary victory lap, a sign of their arrival on the global stage.
Yeah, that sets up what we want to explore today perfectly. We're doing a deep dive into, I guess, three key things. First, the sheer scale of India's current chess boom. It's seismic, really. Second, the thinking behind choosing Goa. Why not say the traditional chess centers? What's the strategy there? And finally, what do these big hosting moves tell us about India's ambition? This idea of becoming the ultimate global hub for chess.
That ambition is clear, absolutely. But to really grasp the strategy, you've got to start with just how huge the change has been. We need to rewind, maybe just a decade or so.
Right, because if you look back, say, mid-2010s, India had, what was it, fewer than 10 grandmasters? Something like that. That was just the reality. Fast forward to now, it's a whopping 90 grandmasters. 90, and still going up. You don't just luck into that kind of growth. That's a fundamental shift, isn't it? In training, funding, the whole culture around the game.
Exactly. It's a confluence of factors, really. A lot fueled by online access, actually, and a very competitive academic culture. Think about sophisticated online coaching suddenly. Talent in smaller towns could get world-class guidance without moving to, like, Chennai. That decentralization was key.
And then the system delivered the ultimate proof point.
Wow.
This year, right?
It really did. The absolute crown jewel, the moment that just amplified everything, was 18-year-old D Gukesh winning the 2024 World Championship. And he didn't just win, did he? He beat the defending champ Ding Liren from China in this incredibly tense, nail-biting 14-game match. That win sent a signal. To the world, sure, but maybe more importantly to the Indian government, to sponsors that, yeah, this investment, it's paying off the very top level.
Gukesh's win is huge, obviously, but the national strength, it goes deeper. You look at the team competitions. India pulled off that historic double gold at the 2024 Chess Olympiad in Budapest, winning both the open and the women's sections. That's not just one superstar. That's depth. That's structure. Consistency. They're dominating.
And that kind of dominance makes hosting something like the World Cup feel almost, well, strategically necessary, not just a nice to have. Which brings us back to Goa.
Okay, but I have to push back a bit on the strategy here. If the goal is celebrating this chess boom, why Goa? Chennai is like the undisputed heartland of Indian chess, right? It's got the academies, the fan density, the grassroots vibe, or even New Delhi with its experience hosting huge sports events. Why did the AICF, the All India Chess Federation, take this massive 206-player pressure cooker tournament to the beach?
See, that's where the vision gets interesting. The AICF, it seems, is thinking beyond just celebrating where chess is strong. Choosing Goa, as AICF President Nitin Narang put it, is about national expansion. It's this deliberate spread the love approach, trying to turn, every corner into a potential boardroom of brilliance. They're potentially sacrificing some of Chennai's logistical ease to broaden the sport's geographic footprint, and maybe it's political based too.
So prioritizing reach over, maybe immediate convenience, is that sustainable for managing a huge knockout like this? A 206-player World Cup? That's a logistical monster.
It absolutely is, and that points to what Goa brought to the table. First, you mentioned government backing full support from the state government there. That's huge for security, infrastructure, just smoothing things out for all those international players. Second, think about the player experience. After maybe 5, 6 intense hours over the board, Goa offers this genuinely nice, laid-back atmosphere. That's a big draw for elite players who are always traveling. It gives them that mental break that maybe a bustling city doesn't offer in the same way.
Okay, that makes strategic sense. State support, national development goals, and thinking about the players themselves. And yeah, while the plans to bring big events back were probably already there, Gukesh winning the World Championship, that was perfect timing, gave them real leverage.
Exactly right. The FIDE President, Arkady Dvorkovich, he'd been hinting since early 2025 about a bigger focus on India, sensing the momentum. So now, the World Cup is the proof of concept. But let's be clear, the World Cup feels like just the first move in a much bigger game they're playing.
Okay, tell me about this bigger game. Because saying India wants to be the global hub of chess, that's a bold statement.
It's a massive goal, no doubt. And it means landing the sport's most prestigious events. They're already working on bids for the 2026 Candidates Tournament, the one where 8 top challengers fight for a shot at the title, and maybe even the World Championship match itself. That's the ultimate prize in chess hosting.
Right, and the candidates, that's where the logistics get really intense, isn't it? It's not a knockout. It's that double round robin, everyone plays everyone twice, demands incredible organization. What does the AICF need to show FIDE to convince them they can handle that kind of pressure cooker? What's on that checklist?
Well, I think it boils down to a few key things. First, absolutely rock-solid planning and, frankly, political clout. You need seamless ties with FIE and other federations. That's non-negotiable. Second, serious funding. These events cost millions. You need major corporate and government backing lined up.
Yeah.
And third, you've got to deliver top-tier venues and hospitality that can compete with anywhere in Europe or the U.S. They need to prove they're not just capable, but actually the best choice.
And the timing couldn't be better for them locally, could it? That's got to be their strongest card right now. You've got Gukesh as the reigning world champion. That guarantees huge global interest wherever a title match is held. And then you have these other incredibly strong young players like Arjun Erigaisi, Pregnananta, real contenders to be in that next candidate cycle.
That's the dream scenario, isn't it?
Oh.
The one the AICF must be working towards. A world championship match on home soil, maybe even featuring 2 Indian players. Imagine the atmosphere. That possibility, I think, is probably the biggest driver behind this whole push right now.
So, to keep feeding this pipeline, they can't just rely on international events. We hear about this brain drain sometimes in chess top players having to constantly travel abroad for elite classical tournaments. What's the AICF doing to, cook up more top-level action right there in India?
Yeah, they're definitely focused on building an internal circuit that meets those world standards. The prime example just happened, the Chennai Grandmasters 2025. That ran earlier this year, August 7th to 15th, and it was specifically set up to be India's strongest classical event of the year.
Okay, strong event, good practice. But how did it specifically, turbocharge Gukesh's path? Was it just about playing strong opponents?
It was more strategic than just practice. See, to qualify for the candidates, you need a high rating, obviously, but you also need these specific performance norms from super elite events. The Chennai Grandmasters was very carefully designed. They made sure to attract enough top 50 players so that Gukesh could hit those required benchmarks and lock down his candidate spot without having to fly off somewhere else. It was basically a mechanism to turn domestic strength into those crucial international qualifying points. Very clever.
That is smart tournament design. Okay, so that covers the classical side, the long, deep games. But chess is changing, right? Especially with rapid and blitz becoming so popular. What about the faster formats?
They're moving on that, too. There's a brand new elite rapid and blitz tournament planned, supposed to hit the calendar in 2026. This taps right into the spectator appeal. Rapid chess, games under 15 minutes aside, high pace, and blitz. That's just pure adrenaline, sometimes under 5 minutes each.
Totally different skill set. Quick intuition, less deep calculation maybe.
Absolutely. And the first edition is penciled in for February 2026 in Hyderabad. This feels geared toward showmanship, attracting different kinds of sponsors, maybe a younger audience that loves the speed, the drama, so it kind of completes the picture. Classical for the series championship path, rapid and blitz for wider entertainment and outreach.
Okay, definitely something to look forward to. But let's pull back to the present, because while we're talking blueprints for 2026, the FIDE World Cup in Goa right now is absolutely delivering that knockout chaos. What's the latest? We're looking at round 3 results, kicking off November 7th.
Well, the Indian players are definitely feeling the heat, but performing. We saw Arjun Erigaisi play this just clinical 30-move game, dismantled Shamsuddin Vokadov from Uzbekistan. A short game like that, it signals incredible opening prep. Erigaisi was just on fire.
And the world champion, Gukesh, staying steady.
Yeah, Gukesh had black against Germany's Friedrichsfehn, held a solid draw. Champions and knockouts, they often play it safe early on, especially with black. Survive and advance.
Right. And Pregnananta also split the point with Armenia's Robert Hovhannissian. Those first game draws in a 2-game match, they're so tense. Puts all the pressure on game 2. Someone has to win.
But knockouts thrive on the unexpected, don't they? Any big shocks rattling the brackets in round 3?
Oh, yeah. The big one was Spain's Jose Martinez taking down world number 4 Nodirbek Abdusattorov from Uzbekistan. That's a huge upset.
Wow, Abdusattorov is highly rated, known for being sharp.
Exactly. He'd been playing well, too. So when a top seed like that crashes out early, it just blows that section of the draw wide open. Changes everything for the players left. We also saw veteran Levan Aronian from Armenia have a pretty smooth win against Xylem from the UAE, cruising through.
And those tense draws you mentioned. They set up these must-watch second games. Anish Giri against Alexander Donchenko. Richard Rappaport drawing with Turkey's Yagis Kanardogmas. Those are the battles now. The drama is definitely thick. Every single move counts. That's the beauty and the brutality of the knockout format. One slip, doesn't matter what your rating is, you could be going home.
So if we pull all these threads together, from the beaches of Goa and the immediate World Cup fights, all the way to these massive plans for 2026, bidding for the candidates, the story isn't just about India's rise anymore, is it? It feels like consolidation. Like they're making a serious play to become the actual global headquarters for chess, not just a talent factory.
It's really an unprecedented kind of moment in the chess world. Yeah. And the speed they're trying to orchestrate this at is, well, it's breathtaking. The whole chess world is watching to see if they can pull off these bids.
Which kind of leaves us with this final thought, something for you, the listener, to maybe chew on. If chess really does manage to become this true national spectacle in India, getting the same kind of attention, the funding, the planning as, say, cricket, how does that change things? How will that new cultural status, that economic weight, redefine what brilliance means, what ambition looks like? For a whole generation of young Indians, the game's changing, not just on the board, but maybe in the national psyche, too.